Welcome back, guys, to Sooner Saloon. I'm here with Emerson Campbell. And Emerson, the latest news is USC and UCLA are moving to the Big Ten. And what I heard is Lincoln Riley is now the head coach of Bowling Green. Just kidding. That's not true. But USC and UCLA are headed to the Big Ten. Emerson, it's a bold move. West Coast schools going to the Big Ten. What's your take on that?
First of all, I'm going to say this. Lincoln Riley isn't running away from the Big Ten. He's running to Bowling Green. No. Dude, okay. It doesn't make any freaking sense. I'm sorry. I guess it doesn't make any sense geographically. I'll say that.
Yep.
Financially, I'm sure it's a great move. But, dude, like from Rutgers to L.A., that's like 4,000 miles or some shit. It's like it's god awful drive.
And that's not considering that they're going to be playing Ohio State, they're going to be playing Penn State, Michigan State, and who knows? It could be a snowing disaster that they're not going to be used to.
Yeah. Imagine I don't know, like 4 to 6 hours of jet lag, depending on the wind, and then. Yeah, you walk into Ann Arbor, Michigan, and you have 111,000 crazy drunk fans in a night game on, in like late November, early December in Michigan or Ohio, like you said, Minnesota. Yeah, that's going to be pretty big adjustment for the kids playing out there, in 70-degree weather every day. So, I don't think it makes any sense at all. I think Alex Grinch's defense is going to give up 5,000 yards rushing every season against Big 12. Big Ten competition.
Dude, that was okay. That was OU's kryptonite in the Big 12. Teams that could run the football and eat. When it comes down to a 3rd and 2 or a 4th and 1, it's like Alex Grinch would give it up because he doesn't want to change up his defense. It's like they were continuously running the same play, same formation, whatever. So it's going to be a kryptonite. It's going to be tough.
You can have all of the speed you want on your speed D, but if they come out with 2 tight end sets and everyone is bigger than your defensive guys are and you're not used to stacking the box,
which they will be.
Yeah, then
they're known for their power run big tight ends.
Yeah, and you can have the best quarterback in the country if they're not used to playing in the snow. Malachi Nelson is not. He's from L.A. He's from the West Coast, so he's probably maybe played in the snow a couple times. I don't know, but that always makes it difficult for the passing game. So, yeah, I don't know.
It's going to be interesting and it's just crazy what college football is turning into in this new era of football here.
Yeah, I don't know. Conference realignment is always exciting. It's always new. But some of these decisions don't make sense. I want to know why the Big Ten went specifically after UCLA. I understand USC, but, you have Oregon. You have Utah State. You have teams that have been a lot more successful than both programs in LA as of recent years. I get USC has the pedigree, so, I'll buy it for now. But UCLA, they're a basketball school. No offense, but...
Well, what I heard is Oregon has been in the conversation of moving as well to the Big Ten. It's not official. It's not official, but it's been kind of talked about. So we'll kind of see how it plays out.
Yeah. But I feel like with Oregon, why go to the Big Ten when the Pac-12, if you run the table, you're automatically in the college football playoff? And they already have more money than God because of Nike. So do they really need the TV deal money from joining the Big Ten?
But it's also about strength of schedule. So you're playing Utah State at that point, and then you're playing maybe 1 to 2 top 25 teams if Arizona State are good enough.
Stanford, maybe.
Correct me if I'm forgetting a team there, but
yeah,
in reality, that's how I see it. So, especially, what was it? Dan Dan Lanning from
Dan
Georgia.
Lanning, yeah, I think that's right. Tell us in the
Georgia coming
comments
over
if
there.
we're wrong.
Right. But it's just it's interesting. The whole conference realignment and figuring out what's best for your team and having all these NIL deals. It's just crazy. It's a crazy era for college football right now.
Yeah. No, it really is. And you kind of have to wonder, okay, well, who else is the Big Ten going to go after? Like you said, possibly Oregon. Are they going to try and steal any more Big 12 teams, possibly, or ACC teams?
Right, Clemson.
What if
Clemson
they
would be
can
the
strike
team on the table.
Yeah, what if they can strike a deal with Notre Dame? What if they could? West Virginia is in their backyard. They're right across the border from Pittsburgh. So, and everyone is already in the Big 12 has already complained about traveling to West Virginia. It's so far, but now in the Big 12, you're gonna have a team from Utah potentially flying to Florida, or vice versa. With UCF and BYU, it seems like the geographical grouping of conferences is becoming less and less significant, and it's all about the money, which I think at a certain point it could very easily start to erode the sport. I'm not saying that it's doing that yet. I'm not trying to be too reactionary, but that's kind of the appeal of college football as we know it. And as soon as it becomes all about money and you basically have like two super conferences, which is what it's kind of shaping up to be with the Big Ten and the SEC, it's an NFL junior, and just like the NBA D League and the MLB, whatever the MLB has, how many people are actually watching that? No one. It's all about the top product. So I'm just concerned that it could end up being detrimental to the sport long term. But it's not about what I want. It's not about what I think. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. For sure.
And I wanna pull something up real quick just to cap off kind of what we've been talking about here with these new conference realignments. With Oklahoma, Texas going to the SEC, you have UCLA and USC going to the Big Ten. I'm going to break this down real quick. Okay, SEC has 36 national titles. The Big Ten would have 24 national titles. ACC 14, Big 12 2, Pac 12 1. So that sums up what the super conferences would be. It'd be SEC, Big Ten. And what are the odds that two Big Ten schools get in, two SEC schools get in? Because that's where we're at in college football. But Emerson, I want to get into more strictly on Oklahoma football, what we learned over this past week with Jackson Arnold tearing it up at the Elite 11, becoming the MVP. I saw a lot of great things. I think his footwork and his accuracy, especially his deep ball, was phenomenal in the videos that I was watching. I want to hear a little bit about your take on that as well.
This could not be. I mean, this is the best news that's probably came out of the offseason so far, or at least the summer period, I think, as far as recruits. You have a kid that just got his 5-star ranking. He got his 5th star according to 247. Rival still has him as a 4-star. But very highly touted kid, and he goes into the Elite 11 with the best of the best, which I don't think, was Arch Manning even there? I don't know. I don't think he was, which is stupid. It sounds like he's afraid of competition. Anyway, we'll get into that later. You go in there, and obviously they bring in the top talent receivers as well for the Elite 11. They try and get as many top national kids as they can in there, and a lot of receivers want to go there. So not only does just being there, establish a repertoire with those elite wide receivers, so hopefully your quarterback can start recruiting some talent. But to be the MVP and to play the way he did, day in and day out for however long the Elite 11 goes on, it will only add to what I think is already going to be a good recruiting class after a couple months. And, wide receivers are going to be excited to play with Jackson Arnold, especially after seeing him in action, getting to catch some passes from him, some 7-on-7 drills. So I think it's only good. And
hey, this is huge for Oklahoma football. Like you said, these are the best of the best quarterbacks coming here, best prospects when it comes to receivers. But Oklahoma has a great history when it comes to quarterbacks. Obviously, you have Baker, you have Kyler, you have Jalen, and 3 back-to-back years in a row. But you have Dylan Gabriel coming in, who's being coached by Jeff Lebby, and Dylan Gabriel has been working on the chemistry as well with his offense, which we'll get into. But this is just a huge statement when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to the future product that Jackson Arnold is going to be, and the future of Oklahoma football in general.
Yeah. I just want to say, accuracy, in my opinion, is probably the most important skill a quarterback can have. And it's so hard to determine, how accurate someone is until they're on the field in a live situation, going against the defense that's coming after them. So, like you said, Baker, Kyler, Jalen, Sam Bradford, those quarterbacks were all extremely accurate. And the best of the best, Baker, Kyler, and Sam, they had accuracy over the middle, on the boundaries, and down the field. And you, Oklahoma fans, know firsthand how freaking potent and lethal an offense like that can be. If you have, first of all, an offensive line that can provide some protection, and then a quarterback that can wheel and deal and put it on the numbers every single time.
It seems like when we have that dude, we are consistently the number one offense in the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it comes to terms of accuracy, and Jackson Arnold has that.
Yeah. I mean, Sam Bradford scored 60 points in 5 consecutive games when the Big 12 was still respectable on defense.
Was stacked.
In the late,
up.
Yeah. One of those was against Nebraska. They put 60 on Nebraska that year. So, I mean, that's impressive, man.
Right.
That's really...
Right.
So definitely something to look forward to.
Another thing that was a topic over this offseason was Dylan Gabriel planned a lake trip with the whole offense to build chemistry, to build relationships, and work on fundamentals and run plays, run routes, and just be more fluid on the offense. I mean, that's big time, and that's showing leadership, Emerson. That's something to be excited about as an Oklahoma fan.
You can't be happier, I think, with what Dylan Gabriel has done so far. To come in to the locker room, follow Jeff Lebby, and build a connection with all of his skill guys, with the entire locker room, and I'm sure, obviously shout out to the media department. I'm assuming it was like Oklahoma University's media department, because they did some really nice shots for the Twitter post he had. But he's done everything possible to build chemistry with everyone on offense. Like this trip was just, it seems like it was just the skill guys with him on this trip. But he's taking the linemen out to eat. He's staying late after camps and stuff, and running routes and throwing balls to guys that are running routes. That's how you build trust on a team, and that's how when shit hits the fan and you're down by 4 with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter and you got to drive 60 yards down the field, like this is where that comes into play, and you have that trust already established, and you've ran the routes with these guys on air literally hundreds of times. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter how tired you are, you have that chemistry, you have that muscle memory to run the right route and trust that Dylan Gabriel is going to put it on your numbers, when the time comes. So I think that's something that's really important, and he just seems like he's totally locked in, and he's ready to prove everyone wrong, because frankly, the entire offseason, no one's been talking about Dylan Gabriel. No one. They've been talking about Caleb Williams. They've been talking about C.J. Stroud. They've been talking about Bryce Young, which rightfully so. He's a Heisman winner, whatever. But Dylan Gabriel's going to come in, and I think if he's as locked in when the season starts as he has been the entire offseason, and all of these things translate, he's going to surprise a lot of people, and a lot of people are going to have to eat some crow about what they've said and put on as far as rankings as like quarterbacks and stuff.
Definitely, and that's without mentioning that he has Jeff Lebby as his offensive coordinator, which he already has chemistry with, and Jeff Lebby has already proven he's a top offensive coordinator, and in every category he is top 10 when it comes to running plays, scoring, yards gained per play. It's incredible. It is incredible. Dylan Gabriel is fit to have a phenomenal season, and I'm very excited to see it. And just the way that he's showing, he wants to be a factor, he wants to be a leader, that's huge. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what we need in this time right now going into this next season. But lastly here, let's talk about potential recruits. It's about to be month of July here. All these seniors want to get their commitments out of the way so they can focus on their senior seasons. So what guys have really kind of stood out to you? What guys are kind of on the radar for committing to Oklahoma? What is your take on that, Emerson?
Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to start off with this. The fan base, I get it, we're passionate, and we've had some spoiled year. We've been spoiled the past couple of years with having really great recruits come in early in the off season and pledge their loyalty to Oklahoma. It's entirely different. It's an entirely different staff, and it's an entirely different recruiting scheme now. And Brent Venables has made it clear that he does not want you to commit until you're 100% ready, and he wants you to take those visits. Go to Texas A&M, go to Clemson, go to Alabama, go to Florida, go to Georgia. Take those visits that you want to take, and then make your decision. And I think now, we're kind of halfway through the summer. Most of these kids have gotten all of their visits out of the way. And like you said, they want to get this decision done before their senior season starts so they can focus on ball and really hone their craft so they're ready to go in, step into the next level, and compete. So I think right now, and I've heard it a lot from other Oklahoma podcasts that I listen to, this month it is going to start blowing up. July and August, you're going to see a lot of recruits come in on both sides of the ball. And everyone's been talking about, we've gotten a couple, we have 9 recruits in the class, but I think 7 of them are 3-stars, according to 247. And everyone's like, oh, he's a 3-star, he's not going to be good, blah, 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 blah. First of all, this coaching staff sees something in them. And, that's good enough for me. Second of all, the 3-stars are going to come into the class early because they know that a lot of talent is coming in, and they want to get their spot before it gets taken by 4 or 5-star, So they're like, I'm going to get my spot now, and I'm going to commit now to a prestigious historic university like Oklahoma and make sure that I'm good to go. So that's why all the 3-stars, it seems like, have committed, relatively early.
And
but
here's the thing also.
Yeah, go ahead.
People think, yes, stars do matter, but it's iffy. It's like, okay, they do matter, but they don't. Okay, just because you're a 3-star doesn't mean that you can progress and be a first-round pick in the NFL draft. Okay, it's all about scheme fit and how you're going to use your players. And obviously they are looking for a certain type, a certain value in the person that they're going to get, the player type that they're going to get, how aggressive they want to be, how they play on the field. And that's the key. That's the key. It's not about getting, the number one guy. You have to recruit. You have to look at his highlight tape. You have to figure out who he is, what kind of a person he is, and that's the kind of guy that you want on your ball club. And if you can figure that out, then that's the guy for you.
Yeah, and Brent Venables is super big on character too. So obviously you got to look at film and everything, but you also got to talk to those people, talk to these young men, and determine what their character's like, and if they are a good fit for the locker room. Great point. But specifically, some guys that I'm looking at that should be expected to join here soon. I mean, you have Caden Green out of the Kansas City area. He plays at, I do believe it's like Lee Summit North. He's a he's a top 100 offensive tackle in the class. And I think Oklahoma has a very good chance of landing him. DeMarco Murray just tweeted Yamaha a couple days ago. So we obviously have a running back coming in. And I think I don't think you have to worry about the types of running back DeMarco Murray's recruiting. He's getting in the groove, and he's finally able to be in people's homes and say, "Hey, I'm DeMarco fucking Murray. Pardon my French, but I was a Dallas Cowboys running back, and I was a stud.
Right.
So I'm not worried about that. So I'm excited to see who they pick up there. We just got a linebacker.
4-star linebacker.
Omas Omega. I don't know. It's something weird. There's an edge out of Utah. Tassili Akana. He's a top 60 player in the country. He's got Oklahoma in his top 3.
There's a lot of players who have Oklahoma in their top 5, top 10, top 4. Yeah. So a lot of these are pending. So it's nothing to worry about. It's way too early to say, hey, we're sitting at 20s and 30s range right now on the recruiting list. Just be patient, because Oklahoma has consistently been a top 5, top 10 school in recruiting. So it's nothing to sweat as of right now.
Yeah, I think the running back. So Dylan Edwards, the guy out of Kansas that I was kind of keeping an eye on, he went to K-State, so he's off the block. But Dalen Smothers, out of Charlotte, North Carolina, he's a 4-star running back, and I think that's going to be the Yamaha that DeMarco Murray was talking about. Derek LeBlanc, he just got a crystal ball to Oklahoma. He's a defensive lineman, 4-star. So, I mean, they're going to start rolling in. They're going to start rolling in, and there's a lot of very highly touted players that have Oklahoma, like you said, in their top 10, top 5, whatever it is. And just be patient, people. That's all I'm saying, is just be patient, because they're going to start coming.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. And, just to wrap this up, Oklahoma has been very consistent in recruiting. And it's like you said, Emerson, it's about character. It's about getting the guys right in the right spots. And trust that. Trust that with new coach Venables. He's been the top defensive coordinator for the past 10 years, in my opinion. There's a reason why I wanted him so badly as the next head coach for the Oklahoma Sooners. And we'll be just fine when it comes to recruiting. It's a process. It is a process. These kids have a future where they want to decide where they want to be. And like you said, Emerson, it's, take their time. Take the time to take these visits. But when you are committed, be committed to OU. And you're going to see a lot less decommits. You're going to see guys committed to your system, be bought in, have that culture, which is super important. Because, just because you have a good roster doesn't mean that you're going to be a good football team. And we have plenty of examples of that.
Texas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, just to wrap things up, this is the Sooner Saloon. Like and subscribe. I'm here with Emerson. I'm Nick. And we will see you guys next video.
Boomer.